Good morning, everybody. My name is Jason Morales from Nova Jade Cosmetics. We have a new series to highlight women of success and their stories to inspire other women on how they got on their road to success as entrepreneurs and female leaders. Today, we have a special guest. Her name is Jennifer Apgar, who is a marketing strategist committed to providing tools to build your business. Known as the lead queen, Jena helps you achieve systematic, scalable growth for your business so you can spend your time doing what you really love. Through tools, podcasts, training, consulting, and agency services, Jena helps owners and freelancers on their path from survival to exit. Jena gives the guidance, tools, and action steps necessary to get from where you are to where you want to be at. Jena brings a unique combination of 24 plus years of experience in sales, marketing, and military combat experience to agency owners, freelancers, and entrepreneurs. Jena has been featured in 17 and Cosmo Girl magazine as an international speaker. She has shared the stage with Gary Vee, Ryan Deese, Sir Richard Branson, and many more. So I'd like to go ahead and welcome Jennifer. Jennifer, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Listening to that long spiel. I hate talking about myself and hearing others talk about me.
Oh, well,
Such an introvert.
Great. It's great, for everybody to know what it is that you've been doing and what you're up to now as a female leader in marketing. To me, I know marketing is a big part of pretty much any business that you could have, whether you have a product or service. So I'm always really interested to learn more about marketing myself. That's one of my weaker aspects.
Marketing's a little bigger than that. Marketing's marketing yourself every single day. And if you don't think so, think about dating. All I could see was like marketing funnels trying to do the dating thing.
Okay, so yeah, I guess marketing could be kind of like selling yourself in any setting then, in or out of being a professional. I guess I never saw it like that.
Well, marketing's like the front end of sales, right? Sales is like that closing the deal type moment, right? That's the extroverts. That's the part that all those extroverts love is sales, right? And then all the introverts go over to marketing, and that's like T-balling up the sell. It's the creating the opportunities, the brand, the reputation that precedes you, right? That's the marketing.
Okay, and your brand is actually Lead Flow 365, correct? That's your own company that you founded?
Yes, sir. We bought it and we spun it around and refit it up.
Could you talk to us about what exactly y'all do? I understand you're in marketing, but could you emphasize a little bit of more details on what y'all handle?
Yeah. So I have 4 kids. So when I got pregnant with the 4th one, I was like, the agency stuff is great, but there's a lot of things that it's me centric, right? So even if I can build out a team and they build stuff, there's just by the very nature, I'm still the strategist. I'm still like the spot that everything gets stuck on, right? Whereas a SaaS application, software as a service, I can hire everything out. I can just build stuff and be like, and off to you, and just hang out in the back on a beach with a Mai Tai, or more realistically, running around kids who are sick and being the Uber and all that kind of stuff. I was actually shopping for my kids, for them some apps to give them as Christmas presents instead of buying the apps as a consumer, buying the apps as the founder, owner, purchaser, whatever, for them to earn money with. And I stumbled upon one that followed our exact methodology and made it faster for reaching out to cold prospects and closing them by giving them value in advance instead of just spamming them to death with some SMTP or SMTP, STPM, whatever, email. And that's been fun and an adventure, and learning how to hire developers and customer service people and providing customer service. That little piece in there that says I'm former military. They don't exactly give us customer service training. It's more of a get it done mentality. And customer service is not my forte.
Okay, so I like how you kind of put an emphasis on using your job to get things done efficiently, so you don't have to be at work all the time. I think that's
Yeah.
amazing because I know as a business owner, if you're going to try to market for yourself, it's going to be a marathon. It's going to be a marathon. Like you're going to be like involved very heavily to where you might not have as much time. So I think you providing a service for people to like take back ownership of their time and do the things they like. I think you provide a good resource for people to come to. So with
Right.
you
People
being,
have time or money, right?
yeah,
And in the beginning, you've got time. Later, you can have money, right? And you can hire somebody. And we're doing like a 90-day training for agency owners right now. Part of it is teaching them how to do the cold marketing themselves in the beginning, because that's what you have is time. And the last month is literally dedicated to teaching them how to document their own process. Because I can teach somebody a process, but you got to make it your own, right? You're going to have your own scripts. You're going to have your own pathway. You're selling your own type of service, and make it your own, document it, learn which sections you can hire out, and then hire those out. Because we like to think that we'll take care of this all. But when you're doing everything, are you really a business owner, or did you really just become self-employed? You're just employing yourself. That's it. You're not a
I like
business
that
owner.
perspective. I like that perspective a lot. Yeah,
Until
that's
you can leave and vacation and stuff still keeps going and your inbox is still filled with notifications that you've made sales, that you've been invoiced and or not been invoiced, but you've got invoices paid, then you're just self-employed with a bitch or an asshole for a boss. You're probably underpaid,
that's a good perspective.
overworked.
That's a good perspective
You
because not
would
everyone knows that.
never, yeah, you would never stand for a boss that pays you what you pay you and makes you work the hours that you work and makes you grind the way you grind for anybody else. But we
No,
make
you're
ourselves do it.
right. You got a lot of good points. One thing I wanted to ask you, because I know you seem to be like an expert in marketing, but what did you do before? I know that you were in the Air Force and stuff. Was there any other professions besides being in the Air Force? And if you mind talking
Yeah.
about your time in the military, go
Um,
ahead and do that.
my dad was Air Force, and my mom never really had a career, just a series of jobs. Uncle was Air Force, grandfather was Air Force, the other grandfather was Air Force, and I bet if I went further, I'd just be more military or not Air Force. They didn't exist before that. They were Army
Army Air
and
Force. My grandpa was in
yeah.
the Army Air Force. Also went
Mine
to
was just
the first Air Force.
Army. One was a Green Beret and one was the Grunt.
Yeah. So I got a pretty good military mix of family too. It's pretty nice.
But what it does is like I came from small towns because military doesn't exist in big towns for the most part, and I never saw like guys in suits. So I didn't really. I mean, I thought about like the lawyer tracks. I did that from 4th to 10th grade. I was like teen court, mock trials. I was just a viper in a courtroom. But then saw how many years of education and had a baby in high school, and just kind of looking at it, was like, you know what, the military is the safe bet. I get paid, I'll get my MGI bill, I'll get healthcare, and I can ditch the douchebag I'm with. So did the military. But I mean, as we were talking before, I was intel, and I was intel during the Afghanistan war. So 3 days into my tech school training, which is right after basic, 9/11 happened. We went to war with Afghanistan, and then as soon as I like got out of tech school, we turn around and I'm writing a book on Iraq, and we gear up for Iraq and go to there. So my time was a little wartime, and I got to see a lot of stuff, and so I kind of did a 180, and I was like, I'm out. I'm gonna go be an art student. No more blood and guts. I want to do some pretty stuff. I need some colors in my life.
Yeah.
Some niceties.
Iraq and Afghanistan can do that, especially when all you see is either sand color and then where the sand meets the sky and it turns kind of blue. And then those are like the only colors you recognize.
Oh,
And then
and
like
like some of those tents are actually dark green.
Yeah, the
It is the
JP mediums.
sand that sticks to them and makes them tan. I
Yeah.
really thought from all the videos that they were tan. I was like, I didn't know we had that in the inventory yet.
Oh yeah. I
Jesus.
remember like when we would have big sandstorms, if you were in one of those tents and not a hard building, like the pressure would build up on them sometimes and pop them, and all the sand would come in and
I
pretty much
can't say
screw
I've
everybody over.
ever stayed in one. I babysat a box in and out for 1 week, and I stayed inside of a what are those things you put on the trains? Like the
Oh, the
box
hoops. They
cars.
call them chews.
Yeah.
They call them chews, the converted
Nah.
housing units, or they have like a container they cut all up and stuck an air conditioner and
Ours
a
didn't
bed in
turn
there.
into a housing unit. Ours turned into a box you could talk to people in.
Yeah, well, they called them converted housing units because you were supposed to be able to sleep like 2 or 3 people in them if you crammed them in there. At least that's the way the army did it. I know y'all had a little bit more leniency with having.
Are you
I feel
saying
like
we were the chair force?
my brother was in the Air Force, and I would tell him some of the things that we were doing. He'd be like, "What? Like that's crazy. We got all this nice stuff." And I was like, "Oh, I guess I joined the wrong branch." But no, I feel you.
We had all the
So
smart people, and to keep us retention, they had to give us the nice stuff.
oh yeah, no, I totally agree. The Air Force is a nice place, especially if you got a brain. It's a good place.
I'm the girl that cried over my ASVAB score in the 90s. And I'm crying because I messed up the coding portion. I tried to spread my fingers out to code faster and I missed a few. And I'm crying. I'm like pouring tears in the office there. And all these other kids come up to me because they're kids. We're 18, right? We're kids. And they're like, oh my God, what happened? Oh, you can come back. I made an 18 last time. I made a 36 this time. Oh, I made it like one was like an actual like 62. And I'm just looking, they're like, what did you make? I'm like,
realize how smart you are.
not anything close to that. Don't you get like 16 points just for putting your name on it? Try not
No.
to be mean. You're like,
Yeah, there's a job for everybody in the military. They're not all equal. I'll tell you that. I work in aviation, and
hey, I couldn't get that job.
Yeah,
I did. I passed with flying colors, the testing and everything else. And they asked me to put 50 pounds over my head, and I don't think I got it to my waist.
yeah. They on ours they relied on what they call a general technical score, which is out. It like you have like your whole abzab score. I might can't even. Yeah,
Abzab.
Yeah, and then you have it broken down to a bunch of different
ASVAB.
Yeah, it's all like hard to like a tongue twister. Some of them are like in electrical, some of them are like in reading and writing, and then they have like a general technical.
I think it's
which
the
is
test
like your
is
overall
universal
ability to learn, and they usually use that to determine if you can get better jobs outside of just being a grunt or maybe washing clothes or cook or something. You get like a more technical job, so when you get out you can get that. So that's how I got into aviation, and I was surprised when I was like in front of a helicopter. I was like, wow, I'm smart enough to work on these. That's so cool. So
that's
okay,
definitely a jump.
You had your time in the military, you decided that's not what you wanted to do. So what kind of employment did you seek all after? Did you go directly into sales and marketing, or where did you hit at first?
No, I went to college for interior design, licensed
Interior
and all
design,
that.
like decorating?
I've got like after my name it says lead AP. That's for design and construction, saying that I can build green buildings. I can do all the paperwork for that. So I did that. I mean, I went to school and I was dedicated to that for a bit before the recession hit. And after I got laid off in the second round, I took a look at my industry as a whole because my boss kind of shook me and she's like, Jenna, this is a good thing you're getting laid off. And you're like looking at her like, no, this is not. She's like, you're too smart for here. Like there's a ceiling here. Like this is not what you were meant to do. Cause I went from, teaching rocket science and, information and writing books on countries and their military. And we don't pick out colors, right? Like I wasn't that like, but laying out office buildings, putting lines down, code stuff. And it gets a little boring when your mind's a little different than that. And then learning corporate culture, You want to see the eye roll there? Like, I remember offering a training because in Intel, part of our school was teaching how to speak. Not so much like sales or persuasive, but to get up and teach the information we have, because if the information we have is in our brain and we don't share it, it's worthless, right? So I'm used to like getting up in front of generals and colonels and mass amounts of grunts and, you know, taking whatever heat they throw up at me and teaching something, even if it's just, you know, where is this mortar going to hit? You know, which, you know, what are the places that you're safest at, right? And getting in there, and I looked back, I was like, man, this industry goes up and down every 5 years. 2.5 years, they're at peak with 80 employees. 2.5 years later, they've got 5. It just goes up and down. And then I took a look around and was like, who makes money no matter what? We got like doctors, salespeople, marketers, lawyers, investment bankers. Went down the investment banking path, took my CFA exam, started learning all about business and going that down direction, and then got pregnant, had my second baby, and was like, yeah, it's not really a baby-centric, friendly job. And did the stay-at-home mom thing for a while. And for the longest time, while married, I told everybody I switched and jumped into marketing because I got bored being a stay-at-home mom. So I was a little fictitious. I mean, I was a little bored. So I totally did have a blog on the side for fun and was making some YouTube revenue. But my ex started threatening financial security when I was pregnant with my third.
Ouch.
And I did not know he was a closet alcoholic at the time. And these little outbursts had to do with that. But he looked at me one day and he was telling me he was going to have me living under a bridge, and the military side comes out. Like, if you can handle a foxhole or these tents, right? You're like, I don't mind being poor. I'll be fine on my own. Thank you.
As long as I got water and bread.
Shoot, I'll find that, right? And I remember, as cold as ice, he turned around, he looked me in the face. He's like, I know, but you do mind if your kids are poor? And just the whole body, like, shots fired, bleeding, ouch, ouch. And you're like, okay, I need to pivot. Like, this stay-at-home mom thing is not going to work. I don't trust the situation. And kind of just started developing on the blog, started growing on Fiverr, you know, doing $5 jobs, just trying to figure out what sells, what doesn't sell, honing in some copy that would work on Fiverr. And, you know, got $800 consistent every month. Put the kid in daycare, the other one, so that the baby was in. I had my toddler, my other was in school, had a full day. And then you're like, what do I do with my life? I'm used to like working an hour or two at night. And then all of a sudden you have a clear day, like maybe not 8 hours. I got a good 6 hours between kids getting home and everything, and had to learn how to network and how to get cold leads and stand up in front of people and be persuasive and sell and all sorts of different changes, and watch the change from the different companies. Cause you know, I kind of get into one, like, this seems like a good idea. Like, no, Google just changed their algorithm. I'm gonna have to flip from that and then go to this one and then that one, and try to work with partners, try to do equity deals, tried so many different things. And at the end of the day, the thing that works the best is own my own agency, you know, and hire people out to do a lot of the work after I hone in the process. And now the SaaS application, which was fantabulous, worth every penny, that I'm investing into it because it came with a list of clients already in areas that people already knew me and I already have built a reputation, and that money flows a little easier.
That's pretty awesome. I like how, you know, you seem to be like on this continuous journey to like find yourself and do something better and use the skills that you learned at like a previous place of employment, and then you're
I don't like to find myself. I feel like every woman is like, I want to find myself. And in the process of trying to find yourself, you end up like tossing out good opportunities, good guys, and trying to throw everything out, or you miss the idea that yourself is just the process.
Exactly.
You know, and jump into a new opportunity. That's cool. But like, don't forget what you got behind. Like at my heart, I am a marketing strategist, and that strategy, you know, it came from that time from 4th grade to 10th grade where I really wanted to be an attorney. And during teen court, I made this punk little wannabe gangster cry on the stand. Like, I'm heartless. And then going into the military and learning the strategy from that perspective and really learning some cold, hard truth strategy. Like military is not fluffy, right? You know, having my weapons officer look at me and, you know, just kind of quizzing us, you know, we put bombs on targets. Let's not lie about what our job is. And he was like, which target, you know, we just learned that, you know, Iraqi ground forces have found a new means of communication that we can pick up on. And do we bomb, you know, the thing that's going to cut off communications? Like, what's the plan there? And I'm like, we're all like, bomb it. Because when you have a hammer, you want to hammer everything. And he's like, or do we tap in and listen into it and use the information against them and pretend like we know nothing? And then you're like, whoa, I need to take a moment and step back in and just think about that one and like the gravity of what you've just said and what that means. That sometimes, you know, finding ourselves or some of the douchiest guys that I've been around, the douchiest guys that have hit on me have said some amazing things. And so you just kind of sit down and just listen. Everyone wants to talk. They want to project themselves. Just listen, get the intel. And, you know, some guys are assholes. They are. Some girls are bitches. There's probably a reason for that. And it's probably a good one. And they probably have a lot of information and they've been through a lot of the pitfalls that you haven't been. So when they're cutting you off and they're like, not interested, you should ask them why.
Yeah, most definitely. Cause I'm trying to brag because I've had to, like, you know, I cut a lot of people off. I'm a single man and I kind of like it like that. And when I cut people off, like some people do demand to answer. They like, and you know, I've explained to some people and like, hey, like, you know, like I'm just interested in just being friends. Like, I actually don't like you like that.
I'm talking about business too. I get hit up so much in business. Like, I feel like as a marketer, you'll do one equity deal and then never again. Because they're like, help me, and we'll be like doing this on an equity basis, and whatever you help bring in, you'll get half of, or, you know, whatever. And man, I've found that it's not a good way to go. Like, doing an equity deal is like getting married. So you're over here talking about just like getting together with a girl. Like, at least, like, I feel like there's some give and take there. Everyone knows the expectations. And nobody really thinks in business when you go in as a partner or some equity deal where you've got some say. That's like being married too.
It is.
And if you have multiple partners, that's probably just as complicated as a multiple partner relationship, because now people, you know, two teams up against the other two, and holy moly, Batman. I'm just like, I'm out. But this is the best deal. There's $1 billion industry on the line. And I'm out. Like, I don't care. Like, you're giving me the same sales pitch. Like, there comes a point where you've hit so many pitches. You've fallen for so many, like, you've failed so many times. You just recognize the failure and you just like, I'm going to stop you there.
No, I get what you're saying. So you got like a higher level of expertise to kind of like find the right
experience.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Most people want to stop when they fail. I can't remember who said the quote, but it was like, I want to say Damon John. I've failed more than most people have tried. And so when I hear all these different pitches, I'm like, I've been there, done that. So unless you can tell me, a spin on the pitch that's going to overcome the objection for the very particular reason why it didn't work the last time, you've got to say no so many times. Like, you get the no's when you're selling and marketing, but you've got to like give the no's too and focus.
What is any, let's say like some advice. Let's say if someone doesn't know anything about marketing and they want to get into marketing, they don't want to go to school. Like, what should they start doing? Like, well, what's a skill they should do?
I don't think any marketer should go to school. Like, the college thing, I think, is really good for certain things. I really feel like we've gotten away from the idea of mastering something through learning by somebody else, learning by doing, right? And I'm very disappointed that in the recession or post-recession, President Obama really made internship harder and working for free harder than he made it almost impossible, right?
Like free mentorship? Is that?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So we pay colleges and universities to teach our students a ton of garbage that I don't want to say they're never going to use, but it's not as practical, right? I love Digital Marketer, like this is the shirt that I'm wearing now. We're partnered with them. Their education, when I go and I spoke on their stage, I like to, especially when I'm talking to the agency owners, I like to let them know, like, I'm a product of just these guys. I didn't go to anybody else. I haven't bought, any other training except for the training that I might have been pitched from a digital marketer stage. So I've bought like Mike Archie stuff. I've bought, a couple things here and there, but it's kind of like in the digital marketer community, right? Where I trust people. So for marketers, I tell them all, go learn there. Business owners, go learn there, but use my affiliate link. There's so much good information there that if you're going to learn to do it yourself, there's enough there to learn enough to make enough money till you can hire it out.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. In marketing, I know there's several skills that I've become familiar with, like such as copywriting, and then you have like the graphic design to like get your message from your copywriting and your graphic design kind of like mesh together sometimes to get a bigger message out. Do you think that people should hire out their copywriting and their graphic design or everything once they get to a point where they become self-sufficient? You think that they should have like any kind of involvement in any of this at all?
Ooh, trick question. I definitely think if you're not an expertise in something, right? Like I get into a trap. I'm incredibly, not to toot my own horn, I'm smart. I mean, like book smart type of smart, right? Like I will totally walk in front of a bus and have before somebody yanked me out. But book smart, I can learn anything. I can learn rocket science. I could probably learn how to do heart surgery. I can learn marketing. I can learn sales from a technical perspective, right? Does that mean I should always do my own work? It means I can get by with a lot, but then I end up with too much on my plate, right?
Yeah.
And things fall by the side that I should be focusing on. So that's not going to be everybody. Not everybody can learn everything themselves. They really need to say like, I'm really good at this and I need to stay in that lane. You should really stay in the parts that, as you're creating your business, you're going to find there are things that have to be you, right? And that's going to be a little different for every business owner. Like you could take 100 different agency owners, and I cannot tell you where that agency owner needs to be in their specific business at all. Like as a strategist, I've had a very hard time. Like I can, piece out parts of the strategy and say, I'm going to hire this part out. I'm going to hire this part out. I'm going to hire the execution out, the technical aspects. But the strategy itself, I can't hire out. I would have to spend years training somebody. And even then they don't have my background to be able to see and move that fast. And it's not their business. So the hustle's not going to be there. The passion's not going to be there, right? So you have to look at it yourself. And if you're going to get stuck on writing the copy, hire it out.
Okay.
You're going to get stuck on the graphics. If you're a graphic designer, you're probably great at graphics. If you're not a trained graphic designer leveraging, Illustrator and better programs, hire it out, especially the graphics. I think the part that got me there was the copy, because there's a point where the best salesperson is going to be you because you're the most passionate. So even if you hire a copywriter, you probably need to spend an hour on a recording or, something passionately describing what you do, and not as if you're trying to help the copywriter write copy, but as if you are trying to sell your product to the copywriter.
I gotcha. No, that makes perfect sense. That way they can have like all the details they would want to like sell your product also, like if they're sold on
and the passion, like we teach, how, what is the before somebody has your product or service, and what is the after, and the 4 levels, going from what do they literally have, which is like technical specifications, like the light in front of me is 7,200 Kelvin, right? To how they feel, they feel like their face is brighter and that they're more confident. They feel more confident in front of camera because of that light, right? How does it change your average day? Well, they might actually be filming the Facebook Lives, the marketing videos, the stuff that they're supposed to be filming versus putting it off forever because they don't like how they look in the mirror, right? And then when you talk about status change, what's the status change? Going from somebody who's a, small, nobody business owner who's, just getting started, to that confident person in front of the camera who actually feels like a business owner, like the ability to describe how something actually transforms somebody, not just the little tech. Oh, you have a light in front of you, right? No, you have a confident business owner who's launched 500 video podcast on YouTube and is cleaning house, making a couple $1,000s on YouTube each month. You have to sell the transformation. So in that way, like there are some things I feel like I've gone to business owners, they hire me as the marketer and we're like doing their strategist. They're paying me a good sum to do that. And I remember they gave me all this information. Like sometimes you're not even the best person to give information to the copywriter. Like you need to have, like, there's a reason there are market researchers who go to different cities and talk to different people and they pay them for the privilege to learn the words that you and the copywriter would never think of. Like I used the Intel teaching, being taught how to debrief, kind of interrogate on a lower level, like not waterboard level, but like across the table interrogate. I will use that in my market research and I will call the clients of my client, offer them $20, $200, depending on who I got to talk to me, and just start talking about it. Like we'll get the demographics, who are you? Do you have kids? How old are you? Did you go to school? What do you read? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember there's a couple that have shocked me. One doing a daycare and talking to a mom who was actually already a client and asking her, like, why are you paying extra for this school? Because this was a pretty expensive school. It's very unique. And that parent told me something the client didn't tell me, which is they actually had a stage next door. She's like, yeah, they do a couple shows each year. And I was like, whoa, let's back up. Tell me, like, my kid hides behind my skirt. How's that working out for you? She's like, oh, yeah, the first time she was timid. The second time she was like kind of feeling it out. And the third time she owned the stage. And those were her words. She owned the stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what you're selling. You're not selling a daycare, preschool. You're not selling test prep or, kindergarten readiness like the other ones are selling. You're selling something so much more. Like they're talking about transformation to kindergarten. We can talk transformation to college. They own the stage. They own it all the way up to graduation and into the career fields, right? And we're in the pre-development years. And then the other one was getting on with a vape user. I had picked up a client who sold vape juice. That was a new one for me. Sometimes you shouldn't take on clients, and that was one of them. I am not a vapor. I don't smoke. I hate, not hate smokers, but I hate the smoke around me. Like I am that Karen that if my neighbor smokes in my non-smoking building, I'm like, they're smoking.
I'm the same way.
Terrible. And so all of a sudden I have a vape client and I'm calling them, and you realize the level of shame that vape users have, that they vape. Something I never would have expected. And you have to address that in the marketing. You as the business owner might miss that. So unless you're going and somebody's got to go talk to the clients. And remember what I was talking to you about, like sometimes I told you my weapons officer, you told me like, sit back and listen, right? You can't get defensive as a business owner. You need to talk to your clients, your potential clients, the people who chose not to hire you, the people who wrote the bad reviews, and just sit and listen. What are they actually hiring you for? What are they saying? What are their words?
Yeah, that's one thing that I learned over time through my own business with like Nova Jade Cosmetics. If you look from like point A from where I started to like now, it's a completely different business because I was listening to customers on what they wanted with packaging. So I had to reduce my packaging to like smaller sizes, and then I had to make everything more prettier, and I changed formulas. and I didn't mind doing these things because that's more or less what I expected, because I just jumped in and was like, hey, I'm starting a business. And, I had a bunch of skills from pretty much every professional, like setting I've ever had. I was using those skills that I was already, developed in other places, for my own company. And, everything seemed kind of like cool and it was working. And then I got on in front of customers and I was like, they like what's inside the jar. They just didn't like the jar. And like, so there was like just little things like that I had to like overcome and go back to the drawing board to like where like, like I'm now, I look back because I still have some of these products. I have them in like a box just to have for later on down the road. And I always look at that box. I look at it on a regular basis to remind me not to quit and to obey the market, what the market wants. And whenever you're providing value to your customers, you don't get to choose that value. They choose the value. They choose what they like. And I would say that's one of the biggest building blocks that I ever had to like really observe and to like, you know, understand the growth of business itself relies on those people. So
and what's your number one product?
Say again.
What's your number one product?
Space Matrix 3000 skin tightening serum.
Okay. And when you sell it, what do you sell it with?
What do you mean, like with another product?
Oh yeah, I'm just, when they buy it, what do they get?
But most people, whenever they buy it, I mean, they get the skincare serum, which moisturizes their skin, and it also tightens up their skin. So if you have like wrinkles, like crow's feet or anything,
but they have to buy that, right?
Yeah, you have to buy the skincare serum. That's correct.
So I mean, I was just doing the training for my group yesterday and teaching them how to provide value in advance and rack and stack the offer. So now think about if you sold this skin cream, but when you mailed it to them and you let them know ahead of time, we're going to give you, you know, a little card that says how to get the best use out of this product. Not just how the best use, but we're going to tell you how to get that end result that's going to leverage this product. And in there, you tell them every step of the product and the products they need to get along. And all the tips and the tricks, like should you use your fingers? Should you massage it in an upward circle or downward, or not use your fingers at all? Use the little Jade roller.
Yeah.
But then, and this is where like it really gets girls, and I've seen companies do great, is then they include a couple either half size or full size other products that may not be selling as well.
And I do
and
that.
People get giddy. They're like, oh, they sent me this extra gift and it's actually wrapped in paper like a gift.
You know, I learned that from a customer actually, like when I first started. So like the Space Matrix 3000, I used to give a bar of soap with it because they go together. The soap was to clean your face before you put the serum on, and the soap also tightens your skin also. And then at the end of the day, so your pores don't get clogged before you go to sleep, use the same soap to wash off the serum and reapply it. So, and I still do that sometimes. I kind of pick and choose depending on what my inventory is like. Same with like my deep cleansers. I'll usually send like a very small sample of a serum with them as well to give people the feel of the other products that go with the ones that they bought. So I kind of get.
And it doesn't even always have to be a product you have. It could be something different, like a tchotchke or the smallest little sticker. Oh my gosh, I love stickers.
I thought about doing that too.
When people, and not stickers with your logo on it.
Art,
or I like the nice motivational kind of quotes, like the girly ones.
That seems very marketable.
And those cost nothing. You can like buy so many of them. I use like Sticker Mule.
So I actually can print out stickers here. So like I have like blank labels I buy because I build my products, like the boxes.
Oh, you have to put labels on them.
Labels, I design those and print them off here. So I buy blank labels, a bunch of printer ink, got a really nice printer, and I do all that. So I was thinking, I was like, you know, I'm really good at art, and I'm trying to get art like more integrated in my business. Like, and I'm an artist. I was like, maybe I should put like some of these labels. They'll like actually fit.
So wait, you can print, right?
I have full print shop here in my house.
How many packages for your business do you send out every day?
I'd say it would average from like 30 to, if it's like a busy, like during a holiday, probably closer to like 90. Like,
I would sit down and I would like at least 10. I wouldn't just print out stickers. I would do custom ones. I'd put their first name on it.
I've done that for some like people who are, I would say closer to me that I know a bit more. I have made custom labels for their
That's cool.
products with
But what
their,
about the
like, on
people
the
you don't?
backside with their name on it and everything. So I've done little things like that. It's more of like depending on who the customer is, how well I know some of them, or I kind
I
of get
would
like a
do it for the
vibe.
ones you don't know.
Do it to the ones I don't know. Yeah, I guess that does
Yeah.
make sense.
The other ones already know
I guess that
you.
makes sense. See, you're over here giving me all these ideas now and stuff. We're
That
gonna have
level
to.
of personalization, though, like when we're teaching how to get cold clients, right? Like it's hard to stand out in a sea of cold, right? It's not like these are warm ones. The people are going to buy from you anyway. I'm talking it like I'm trying to teach agency owners how to get cold as ice new clients, whether because you're new or because you don't have enough referrals coming in, or you want to, bust into a new space and a new niche. How do you stand out? Like, so imagine somebody like you've talked one person into buying your stuff, right? You've no idea who they are. You may not even know where they came from, right? And all of a sudden they don't just see like a personalized note or something, but like there's a customized sticker meme just for them that makes them feel all warm and gooey inside.
Yeah.
Like that level of community building and leaving an impression on how they feel about their day, that's big in your industry.
You're right. I should definitely start doing that for sure. Because I mean, it really doesn't take that long to print out a sticker like that.
Yeah,
I'm
90
really good
is
with
a
art.
lot. I don't know if I could do 90 in a day.
It would
That
take
seems
me
excessive.
less than a minute to type in someone's name on one of these labels I have already like pre-made and hit print.
There you go.
Like it wouldn't take me very long to really add in something like that. But I think it's good. I'm always on par for listening to experts, and you're obviously the expert in marketing between the two of us. And I think a lot of what you have going on very much exemplifies you have a ton of expertise in marketing and sales. I think it's amazing, and I think anybody who would need your service would be able to benefit from you. What would be the easiest way for someone to contact you if they wanted your marketing services?
My marketing services. Oh, I'm so particular about my marketing services now. I probably find me on Facebook and message me. But my big baby right now is definitely the leadflow365.io, teaching people how to get cold traffic. And right now, certainly the expertise is in B2B because that's what the software does, is B2B. But hitting me up through Facebook, LinkedIn, I don't hit up as much as I should. But I'm so easy to find on Facebook. You just put Jena Apgar, one N on the Jena, and hit me up with a message. And what I've done, because like I said, I've really started to niche down and make my marketing space very efficient, right? So if I'm marketing to bankruptcy attorneys, that's it. But if I can hop on a call and we can just do some consulting or a marketing strategy, that I can do for anybody.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. I'll make sure and put Jennifer's links down in the description below. That way, when y'all watch this video, if you want to get a hold of her, you'll have her Facebook link and a link to her professional website. Is there anything else when it comes to, I would say, having somebody start off in marketing? Is there any like closing message that you would want to give somebody that's trying to get off and being a marketer themselves?
For someone who wants to be a marketer?
Yes.
From scratch, I would say go join Digital Marketer. Go jump onto Lab and see if you like it on the Lab side. And they have a great program like that you can step into it's called Elite. And then after that, if you really want to, be an agency and you need that next level, then they have an agency program too they have programs to how you can get clients, how you can be the strategist. That they've been wonderful.
That's pretty
not salesy. Awesome. I mean, that's really direct too. And I'll have to see if I can give you a link if I have any good deals or offers from.
Yeah, if you have any affiliate links, we can definitely put them down.
Not just affiliate, but sometimes I have like good
links
resources. That hook them up with like the freebies, right?
Yeah,
I'm
the
all about the
resources that
freebies.
help them
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Um,
we can get all that put down in the description below. But this was a really good interview with you. I wish that we could go on for like another
oh,
2
you and
hours. I
I
feel
could
like
totally talk for like 8
yeah,
hours.
yeah. I feel like we could just keep going and going and going. I don't want to lose track of time and stuff. But it's been amazing having you on here. You're obviously a marketing and sales expert. Anybody who's watching this, make sure you go follow the links that I put down below to Jennifer's Facebook and go ahead and professionally connect with her. Uh, we will be ending this segment now. It was great having you on, Jennifer. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will be talking to everybody on our next episode. Thank you.
Bye, guys.